invisible stitchy friends out there in YouTube land. My name is Haley and I'm the Bookish Stitcher. Welcome back to my channel and to my new FlossTube video, number dos. If you are new here, hey howdy, hey. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. And I hope that you have a great time and subscribe down below. So today I just wanted to go over everything that I have done in the last month since I started my channel. I know last week I did like a mini FlossTube where I just showed my progress on the kits that I took with me on my vacation, but I wanted to make sure that I go over everything in detail this week so I can start fresh next month. Moving forward, I'll probably be doing FlossTube videos every 2 weeks instead of once a month because I feel like I have enough subscribers now to do that. So thank you again for all of my subscribers, all of your comments and thoughtful messages, all of my friends over on Instagram as well. I love chatting with all of you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to get to know me and starting our stitching circle. That's what I'm gonna call this now, my invisible stitching circle. So welcome. So I just wanted to shout out to Lauren. My husband is gone this weekend, as I have now said multiple times in multiple videos. It's really affecting me. And she said I should have a virtual stitching group. I would have loved to do that. The problem is I got that comment way too late for me to figure out how to do that. So look forward to me doing something like that in the future. I'll make sure to post it on my Instagram, and if anybody is interested, I will see if we can coordinate a date. So that'll be really exciting to meet people in real life, virtually. Anyway, so that's my beginning of my housekeeping. I'm also going to go over, as I go through these, what my plan is for stitching for next month. I'm going to continue to stitch on everything every week. So everything gets touched once a week. But I have a few projects that are going to get a little extra love. And I'm also going to start counting my stitches. I figured a way to do this before and I stopped doing it. I don't know why, but basically what I do is I count how many strands of floss I do, because it's not a very easy thing to count stitches on printed fabric. So I have done the math on how many stitches I can get per floss. On average, it was a lot of stitching and a lot of addition and a lot of subtraction and a lot of division. It's just math. So I have a rough idea of how many stitches I get, and that's kind of how I go ahead and count my stitches. I like to kind of see how much I can get done in a day, so that way I can I would change my plans for the next week based off of how much attention I did the previous month in certain pieces, or week. So yeah, that being said, I'll go ahead and get into shooting these. My last video, I had the B-roll, or the video of the finished product, or not the finished product, but what I had gotten done over, and my husband did all of that for me, and I'm not set up or confident enough to do that myself, so I'm just gonna make sure I hold it up longer. And I'll make sure, I could have waited for him to get home to do it, but I have stitchy plans for this weekend, so I didn't want to not work on these just because he's not home. But yeah, let me get started. So I like to show everything in order that I started it. So that means first we start with the water lilies. So that is the photo of this here. I'm going to put in the picture of where we left off at the end of last FlossTube video right here. Alright, so this is water lily. It is a needle kung fu kit that I started in January of 2018. It's an 11 count, 35 colors, and the finished size is 194 by 358 stitches. So this is I feel like I got a lot done on this kit, but because it's so big and so monochromatic, it really is kind of hard to tell. But I know I filled out this water lily here the rest of the way, and then I filled in some up here, and I'm working in with this yellow and green area right here. I would have been more excited to stitch green if I wasn't used to looking at this big huge green background right here, but it's still nice not to stitch blue. I had way too much blue going on in my kits. And then this week I started stitching down in this section. I wanted to kind of like go up and straight across the whole way. I'm trying to save this water lily for kind of like the end as a present for myself. Like once I kind of get there, not the end. I like to do that. I like to make little cross-stitching games for myself. It kind of helps myself from getting bored. So one of them is I find a spot that I'm really excited to stitch, and I make myself set a certain amount of progress before I do it. I haven't exactly decided what that is yet. I think what I'll do, changing my mind, I'm gonna finish this pink section right here, and then I'll stitch this. But I'll probably do this part underneath it and then all those around. So I'm not sure how long that's gonna take me, but that's my new cross stitch game with this. So just a little thing to keep me from going insane while I'm working on all of the blue confetti. I actually really enjoy doing confetti. It's probably because it's a lot easier to do on printed kits. Fancy coffee break. I love coffee. I'm gonna need it tonight. Alright, so the next piece I've been working on is this guy here. It's the Seaside Lighthouse number 3. I started it in April of 2020. It's a needle kung fu kit, 11 count, 51 colors, and the finished size on this one is 200 by 130 centimeters, or 18 inch by 23 inch. It's one of the only ones I have the inch sizes written down on. Alright, so here is the lighthouse here. I feel like I made really good progress on this one. I just have a little bit of sky left right here that I'm going to work on next. But I was working on this section down here. So I got this little house done, the fence post, and I'm working on this brick wall. Cecil, everybody say hi to Cecil. He's gonna cause trouble, as he does, being a baby. When I was doing this one, I don't know, I didn't really play much of a game with it, but like you'd see, I'd start in one spot, like I did a little bit of the top of this a while ago, and then I would go and fill it down here, down in here. So this one doesn't really have a game, but I was working in bigger sections of it. So when I went to start doing it after I filmed the FlossTube, I decided to work just in smaller sections, and it's a lot easier to see it come together versus like, oh, well, I'm working on this big long strand of this color, so I'm just gonna stitch it where I see it down here and get rid of it. So I don't take a length of thread and sew on part of it and then save it. I'll finish like the whole cut that I take, but I used to finish the whole big piece, so I'd separate it into 4 or 6 pieces, and I wouldn't put it away until, well, I would stitch until it was all gone. But now I'll just take like one of those sections and I'll work in here, so I can see more progress faster that way, versus kind of waiting for it all to come together at the end. So I think I'll keep doing that on this one, especially as I go forward, because that's when we're going to start getting the rest of the houses, or the rest of the main house, and like the boat and the trees and stuff. I'm really excited to stitch the trees. I love stitching nature scenes. I just haven't done a lot of them. So, super excited for that. So we'll see what the plan is, or how we get going on that. the water lily kit I'm gonna work on twice a week this month because I'm putting it away at the end of August to start on my fall kit. So I'll probably only touch the lighthouse kit once a week. But I'll make sure it's one of the days I have more time to stitch. Some days you have more time than others. Alright, so next I have the 8-cat kit. I have misplaced the picture for it, so I'll just make sure it's right here. But this was a Joy Sunday kit. It is 14 count and 23 colors, and it is 186-ish by 100-ish stitches. I'm not gonna count the exact number, but so I did just show this in my vacation 1.5 FlossTube 1.5 video, but just to go over what I have done, I've named all the cats. So this is Toulouse, this is Bernice, this is Galaxy, and now I'm working on Maggie here. I did get a little bit more in Maggie done since my last video. I kind of filled out the cheeks up in here and started going down this side of her body. So there we are with that. This one in particular, because she's a tortoise shell, I'm gonna call it. She has a lot more detail in her, so it's taking a lot longer to do the stitching. But it's gonna look great when it's done. And Bernice was kind of the same way. She took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to because it's 4 different colors in there. And like you can't really see as a casual observer, but it is really nice to get that extra detail and coloring. It makes it look not, I guess realistic, but it's still cartoonish, just detailed. You can't see it on camera because I watched in my last video, but this is very tan compared to this pink on the top of her ears. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to frog out the bottom half of the ear and leave it all pink, or if I'm just gonna leave it because I don't know. And I'm still debating on the cheeks because this is the only one so far that I've put the blush in. And I don't hate it, but I'm gonna wait until the whole piece is done, I think, before I make a decision. She's the last one that had any blush. This one, Galaxy, did too, and I think maybe Bernice didn't. Weird. And yeah, and she's one of the ones, so this one, Bernice had her tongue hanging out like a dog. Galaxy was supposed to have his tongue hanging out like a dog, and she just had the tongue blip, so it's just a little like, baby tongue down here. So I stitched over the whole tongue on here because I didn't like it, and then I gave this one just a little tongue blip here instead of the whole tongue because cats don't pant like dogs. And it bugged me so much. But there's that guy. No idea how long the rest of this is going to take me, but one stitch at a time. I kind of don't want to finish this one. Like I do, because I want to see it done, but I'm just enjoying stitching it so much that I'm not in a rush to get it done. Like, where do I put this? I'm in a different place than I was when I filled my last one, so I'm not as organized. But we try. Alright, so that one I started on March 5th. I know it's March 5th because it's 3 days before this one. So this one I started on March 8th. It is a needle kung fu kit, 11 count, 23 colors. It is 25 by 35 centimeters when it's done, or 81 by 112 stitches. So here we are. I made a lot of progress on this one here, and I did a little bit more since my last video last week. So I finished the red flowers over in here, and I finally started on the green, and this is 100% my favorite stitch right now. It is so fun. It is so colorful. There's not a lot of confetti. There's no confetti. It's just all like these cool rivery shapes, and it's like just so fun. I'm sorry I'm using the word fun so many times, but it's true. It is just such a joy to stitch on. This is one of the ones, so this one, the cats, I don't really have a game. I'm just finishing each cat at a time. This one, I decided I was going to start and do each color as I saw it, so that's why all of this stuff up here is all done. And then I just started the green here. So it's weird, but it breaks it up. But the one hard part was I stitched a lot of blue all at the same time while I was stitching all of the sky on the lighthouse kit and all of the water and everything else in the water lily kit. So I was blued out. But them's the breaks. Yep, I'm loving like the Crayola colors. They're just so bright and fun. I know I said that I wasn't sure about this kit during my last video, but having gotten so much more done now than I had previously, I love it, and I'm really glad I have another one to do after it. I have its sister, I think it's Cat Family. It's Cat Family Under the Sun. So that's that. And somebody mentioned, and my mom did too, that I hadn't noticed, but it's kind of Van Gogh, like Starry Night-esque, because you get the swirls through the sky and then again down through here. And maybe that's part of why I was so drawn to it when I got it. I just hadn't even noticed. I just really like the swirls. They're just so much fun. They're so much fun to stitch. I have no other words. This is delightful and joyous and a treat and a pleasure. So I kind of stopped myself from stitching on this one a lot, because if I do, I won't get anything else done. But Cats Under the Sun. All right, so the next one is the Old Married Couple. Sorry, I started this on April 18th. It's a Joy Sunday, 11 count, 47 colors. Finish size is 57 by 46 centimeters. This one I got a lot done. So, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. My husband's texting me. Like, he just texted me 3 times, and I film on my phone, so I'm not sure if you can hear that. But if you can, I'm sorry. So, to start, this is kind of what I finished last time. Just this bottom here with the boots and the chicken cutlet foot. So I finished this section down here under the bed, and then I started going up. So I am using a Q-snap on this now. Not everywhere yet, but in like the center sections. So I started using a Q-snap, and I kind of did this part of the mattress right here. So right through here. And then I realized that because of the margins on this, I can't use the Q-snap everywhere, so I went back to doing all the background, which is all half stitch, so that way I can use the Q-snap in the middle. So down here, this is kind of what I worked on this week. So I worked on this taupish, I don't know, it's kind of like a tanny gray color, and then down here, and then this dresser here. So I'm gonna finish going down here and then across the bottom and this quilt, and then I'm gonna start putting it back in the Q-snap. I finished this hat a while ago. In this light it doesn't look too bad, but here's the hat. Yeah. So here's the hat. I'm gonna rip that all out because I have mixed stitches in there, and I'm just not digging it. Because I'm doing this, I'm putting it in a fair to be judged. I really care about the way it looks, and there's just something about it, and it's not just that I mixed my stitches. There's just something off about it. It might just be the shading and the fact that it's not back stitched yet, but I'm just not really digging it. Part of it also could be these kits come with the CMC floss, so it's a lot fluffier, especially the lighter colors, than the DMC floss. So it could just be looking weird because of the way the floss is laying. And so, but like down here, I did this pot, and I have mixed stitches down here too, but I'm not as concerned about those because the floss lays down fine. But this hat, I'm not digging it. Not digging it. So this is another kit I'm going to be working on twice a week. I'm going to try and do 3 days a week on this one, actually, because my goal is to get this is one of the only ones I have a goal on, is to get all of the cross stitching itself done, and then start doing the back stitch next month. I know a lot of people have said, and I've said it to myself too, do your cross stitching as you go. And I will on like the Lighthouse kit because it's on a scroll frame. But with this going in and out of a Q-snap, I worry about the tension that's going to be put on the fabric and how it will affect the back stitch. Just because I've never done it before and I would just rather not worry about it. I also did a bad job with my my loop cast-ons. I did them backwards. I know I did that, but so I've got a bunch of like little fuzzies through here that I have to restitch because it's most of that square. So mostly on this side, because then I switched back to, I usually take the length, cut it in half, and then pull the strings out so you get 4 lengths out of each strand. So that's the way I've normally done it. I did recently switch over to the loop cast-on method. Sorry. And I do enjoy that for the smaller kits I work on, but some of these bigger kits, especially in the big color areas, I don't enjoy it as much. But in some of these smaller areas, I think it's going to be a lot better because there's not as much space to cover at a time. So you're not always having to just keep having to get new thread out. It just takes a lot longer. Anyway, so that is the old married couple. I can't say that I'm happy with how it looks right now because it looks like a hot mess with a little bit of stitching here, a little stitching over there, a little stitching over here. But it's going to come together really nice. Like, originally I was going to make myself do all of the background first. It's too much. It's too much. So this is one of those things where I stitch a bunch of background and then I reward myself. So I stitched like all of this up here and then like, I'm going to let myself do this hat, which didn't come out well. So I stayed away from it and just I did the mattress and this side of the bed frame here. So over in here. So that's the old married couple. Did I tell you when I started it? I think I did. April 18th, if I didn't. So that's that guy. I also really like to finish all the stitching and then put in the back stitch because I like to watch the whole thing change. Hi. And you want to come say hello too? Hi. Come here, Mama's baby. Say hi. This is Coolidge. He's my baby. They're all my babies. He's my special baby. Alright, so there's that. And then the last one. Hi, you're just gonna sit there and stare at me. He's so handsome. The last one I have is this one. It is called 11 Count Cat. I call her Petunia. I started this, I think it was May 30th. I forgot to write it down, but I'll double check. It's 11 count, 36 colors, and it's 173 by 173 stitches. You gonna come? Are you hungry? Is it dinner time? No. So I don't have a picture of before because it's just a brand new kit that I started, but here is our canvas here. So she's a pretty good size girl. Alright, and I've just primarily been working down here on her legs. So I'm working from the top up. This is one that I'm only working on during sit-in stitches, and I'm doing one a week. Probably gonna keep them all to Fridays just so you guys know when to look for that. And I'm just kind of picking away at it a few strands at a time. So there's that guy. And then when it's all done, I'm gonna do the whole wash and frame thing with everybody. I'm gonna do another video later in July showing some of the kits that I do have finished and washing those as well. So stay tuned for that. When I forgot, I have my owl. I didn't bother grabbing the picture for this one because he's almost done. But this is my owl in a hat. I wanted to finish it during my vacation, and that was a bit ambitious because he's got a lot of color in him. So it is 21 colors. It's a 14 count Joy Sunday kit, and it is 60 by 59 stitches, or maybe it's 56 stitches. But anyway, there he is. So I just have to finish the few stitches of white in his eyes, and then do the back stitch, and that's in black, I think. Yeah, 310, and then he'll be all done. So I'm gonna hopefully get that done before my next FlossTube video, and I'll have a finish. I did ask people in my last video to let me know what I should name it, because I hadn't come up with a good name. So I got a lot of responses from Instagram and YouTube comments, and I've picked a name. Decided to go with Hubert, and it kind of goes with my name that I was calling him originally, Hootver. So this is Hubert Hootver the owl in a baseball hat. So thank you everybody who left their suggestions. They were all way better than I could have come up with. So thank you for being my creative outlet for that one. And I'll make sure that I'll do another thing where I ask you guys what to name things. I wasn't sure if I'd like that. I like to be in control, but it was nice. It was nice to give somebody else the reins on that. So thank you guys. So yeah, that's it. That's my progress for the last month. I'm gonna be doing another FlossTube in another 2 weeks, so we'll see where I get from there. And I am going to start, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna eat dinner, and then I'm gonna start my FlossTube challenge that I have made for myself. So, with my husband being gone, me being home, I have always wanted to do a reading challenge. So on BookTube, they do like a 24-hour readathon where you stay awake for 24 hours and see how much you can read. So I don't want to stay up for 24 hours and stitch. I might work up to it, but I am just going to spend 2 hours on each of the kits I have, which I think is 12 hours. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's 12. That doesn't include Petunia. She's going to be exempt from this challenge because I don't want to sit and do a 2-hour sit and stitch, and I doubt anybody would want to sit with me for that long. So she's exempt. But when I am done with all those, I am starting a new printed kit. I said in my last video, I thought I was gonna wait and get some progress, some big progress made on some of these bigger kits and not start anything else. But I lied. There's been a kit that I wanted to start for a while. It's kind of a medium size. It's smaller than the Married Couple, but bigger than Cats Under the Sun, so it's kind of right in between there. And I'm gonna get that started at the end after I'm done with everything else. So if you fall over, I'm sorry, but Cecil has himself all curled up around the base of the tripod. So so yeah, I'm really excited to start that. I'm gonna stay up late tonight and stitch, and get up early tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna make it work, and I'm really excited, and my hands are gonna hurt, and I don't care. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. That's probably gonna come out this Wednesday. So stay tuned for that, and I hope that you had a great time. If you have any questions, I love to answer them in my videos. It takes some of the pressure off of me on what to talk about. So you can leave those down below, or you can send them to me over on Instagram. I'll read all of those as well. If you are new and you have made it this far, congratulations. Please subscribe and like below and ask me questions. I love questions. And I think that's gonna do it today. Yep. So again, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, where you can see daily progress of my cross-stitch kits and pictures of my cats. And I don't think you need any more incentive other than pictures of my cats, but you do you. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day full of stitching. Bye, everybody.